Breaking news where multiple people were shot at a New York City subway station. It all happened during morning rush hour at the 36th Street subway station in Brooklyn this morning. Police and firefighters arrived to find multiple people injured as well as undetonated explosive devices. Now, 2 schools in the area are being told to shelter in place while police search for a suspect. NBC News correspondent Vaughn Hilliard joins us now from Brooklyn. Well, in the studio. Vaughn, what do we know at this point? What is law enforcement saying about that search for a suspect?
Right, Morgan, we've been following this closely, and several of our colleagues are just now making it here to the site. I mean, this is a big perimeter that has been set up here, in large part because we still do not know where this suspect is at this time. And for those who are not familiar with New York, these boroughs, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens, are very interconnected, and we're talking about a clearly planned event in which at least one individual, authorities believe here at this time, was inside of a subway that was making its way into this Brooklyn stop when apparently detonated some sort of a smoking device, a smoke grenade, smoke bomb, which filled at least one subway car. That is when the individual is believed to have then fired multiple shots. We now know that there are at least 13 injured, 5 individuals who were shot, 2 who were in serious condition. And we are just beginning to get some of these videos that have been posted on social media platforms into our system, and we are working our way through them right now. But I can tell you that what these videos are so far showing is a situation in which this subway vehicle pulled into the station, and that is when you see smoke begin to billow out of this subway vehicle, and multiple individuals hobbling out. The videos are tough to watch, and that is why we are working our way through them right now, because you see individuals with gunshot wounds, particularly in the lower half of their bodies. There is blood. There are individuals that are falling onto the subway platform. And that is when, though, at the same time, it's not clear where this suspect is. We believe this individual from authorities to be anywhere from 5'5" to 5'7", a black male who may have been wearing an orange-like vest, may have had a gas mask, either wearing it or in his hands at the time, but you do not see him pictured in any of the videos that we have seen here at this time. But again, that is when the scene was chaotic and individuals trying to help out one another. But importantly, there's still an individual who is believed to be on the loose. Again, this is in the heart of Brooklyn, a very diverse residential and business part of Brooklyn here. And a cause for serious concern. And of course, no confirmed fatalities at this time here, but still several serious injuries. Morgan?
Vaughn, let's be clear. This is any New Yorker's worst nightmare. I mean, people use the subway system. For those who aren't familiar with New York, it is, if not a main mode of transportation. You can usually get anywhere in the city, usually a little bit faster via subway than even by car. So what's happening right now? I mean, are there people who are still stuck in the tunnels as a result of this?
We know that several subway stations are closed. This was the NDR trains. This was specifically an N train that came in. We know that there are a couple Manhattan subway stops that are closed as well here. But you're absolutely right. I think it's clear, right, during the pandemic, New York City did quiet down to a certain extent, but New York is very much back here. This was at around 8:30 a.m. at the height of rush hour here. Again, there are schools in this area. There are businesses, residential areas around this neighborhood here. This was at peak hours, and you see from this video here a large perimeter that has been set up in large part, again, just because of the threat that continues to be posed here to the neighborhood at large, not just in Brooklyn, Morgan, but again, it is not difficult to get from Queens to Manhattan up to the Bronx from this part of Brooklyn here, and that is why there's so many law enforcement personnel and why this investigation is so serious.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top.
Condolences goes out to all the victims of the Brooklyn mass shooting. I'm watching the video right now on YouTube. People are bailing out the subway. They say it's not terror related. This is not a terror. This is one individual idiot. This is not a terror attack. This is not a terror attack, yo. Send my condolences to the victims. I haven't heard anything about any fatals. I haven't heard of anybody dead yet. But the gunman got away.
Thank you, John. So from the very minute this incident occurred, the mayor and I have been on the phone monitoring the situation constantly.
16 people injured, 8 people have been shot. We have
worked with all of our agencies, the FDNY, NYPD, OEM, all of the agencies who have worked really hard together, and we continue to throw all of the city's resources at this. I'm going to ask the police commissioner, Keechant Sewell, to speak to you and give you an update on the events of today. Thank you.
Good afternoon. We're here to update New Yorkers about an active shooting incident that took place this morning inside the 36th Street subway station on the N line. I want to begin by assuring the public that there are currently no known explosive devices on our subway trains, and this is not being investigated as an act of terrorism at this time. We can also report that although this was a violent incident, reportedly we have no one with life-threatening injuries as a result of this case. This investigation is only hours old, so please note this information is subject to change. Just before 8:24 this morning, as a Manhattan-bound N train waited to enter the 36th Street station, an individual on that train donned what appeared to be a gas mask. He then took a canister out of his bag and opened it. The train at that time began to fill with smoke. He then opened fire, striking multiple people on the subway and in the platform. Again, we will describe him as an individual. He is being reported as a male black, approximately 5 feet 5 inches tall with a heavy build. He was wearing a green construction type vest and a hooded sweatshirt. The color is gray. At this time, we are working with our federal partners, where we are asking for the public's help. Anyone with information, videos, or photographs, no matter how insignificant they think it may be, is encouraged to call Crime Stoppers at 800-577-TIPS. All calls are strictly confidential. I'd like to turn it over to the FDNY to give information about the victims. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. The governor would like to speak now. Governor Holt, my apologies. Sorry.
Good afternoon. This morning, ordinary New Yorkers woke up in anticipation of a relatively normal day. Left their homes en route to school, en route to their jobs.
Multiple people wounded in New York City subway shooting. Y'all can check out the rest of this news on YouTube. That sense of tranquility
and normalness was disrupted, brutally disrupted.
That's on dead, homies. Slang, homies. I put it on my dead, homies.